London. It's with great pleasure that I've got this opportunity to share with you information about Kingston University. Whether you're interested in joining us this September or January or September 2021, I hope that the information that I'm going to share with you today will be relevant to you. And after the presentation, there is going to be opportunities for you to ask questions. And after the presentation, I'll be able to deal with any questions that haven't been covered in the presentation. Brilliant. So just a quick overview of what's going to be covered. And as I said, if there's any other questions resulting from the presentation or anything else, I'd be more than happy to answer that. And my colleague, Usha Joseph, is with me as well, who is our in-country representative based in Mumbai. So we're here on hand to help you. Okay, so a little bit about Kingston University London first. Now, many of you might have already done some research on Kingston, or you may have already applied and have an offer. What I find fascinating and brilliant is that most students that I come in contact with from India and South Asia generally have never visited the UK. They might have family or friends, but they've never actually visited. And so it's a pleasure to try to explain where Kingston is situated exactly in the UK. So we are London, so that's why we're the Kingston University London. But London, like many metro areas, is a very large area. So we're not in central London, okay? We're not smack bang in the middle of London, but we do have easy access to central London. So it's about 20-25 minutes, depending on what campus you will stay at. And of course, we will get onto that later, and I can share with you, depending on the program, will depend on what campus you'll be studying at. But we will, stay with me 1 moment. We are around 20 minutes away from central London, but the London Borough of Kingston is actually one of the safest London boroughs, and that's by the Metropolitan Police, which is the police force in London. So it's a very safe, friendly environment where there's many beautiful parks. We've got some famous parks, Richmond Park next to Hampton Court Palace. So, and I live very close by to Kingston as well. I grew up in the area. So I always like to say that we have the best of both. In terms of our location, we have the beauty and the safety of the suburbs, but we have easy access to central London. Okay. In terms of Kingston University, in terms of our what we're known for, okay, so Kingston University is known for its entrepreneurship. So we are a modern university. We are not part of the Russell Group. The Russell Group universities are similar in America, called the Ivy League. And that's not us. That's not what we're about. We're very much about having programs of excellence. So our academics, our teachers are experts in their chosen field. So our academics have been entrepreneurs, or they've been engineers, or they've been mechanic, or they've been art designers. Okay, so they are experts in their area, and they want to transfer tangible skills to you to train you for your chosen career. So it's very mindful about that. Really, your education is a springboard to your career. It's not just about education for education's sakes or to progress as an academic. Our focus really is about training you and equipping you for a job. And that goes through all of our programs. So Kingston University, we offer many programs. We're known for our engineering, our computer science, our business. We've got a very impressive business school, and alongside that, with a very prestigious art school. So we have a combination of programs that we specialize in, but there's a thread running through all of them, and that is that we coach you into getting to your point where you will then enter into that profession. As many of you are aware, that we also, the government confirmed and has recently reconfirmed the graduate immigration route, which was previously known as the post-study work visa. So that's great. But we also offer startup visas as well. That's a separate route that will enable you to remain in the UK after you commence your studies. But I'll get onto that a bit later. Okay, so the next why Kingston, the next reason, I suppose, is the student opportunities that you will have. So we do offer with the majority of our master's program, and what you can do if you're not sure, we can always help you. It is on our website, okay? So on our website, it will clarify whether the master's program, the postgraduate program you're interested in, has the postgraduate work placement attached to it, okay? And what that essentially means is that we are offering you a 2-year Tier 4 visa, okay? So that means that in the UK, and why many students are interested in the UK as opposed to Canada or America, is that you will be able to complete your academic qualification, your master's, in 1 year. However, what we're offering you is a 2-year student visa, and if somebody could, so what we're offering you is a 2-year visa. The second year is a postgraduate work placement. So this means that you have an opportunity to work in the UK, and you'll be paid for that in your chosen career. It must be related to the degree that you're studying with us. And I would say that it's not guaranteed, okay? So your second year is not guaranteed if you do not secure the work placement. Now, of course, we coach and guide you. We prepare you for interviews, your CV. We help enable you to get that postgraduate work placement. And our success rate has been around 65, 70%. So the majority of the students are successful, but ultimately you have to submit the work placement, submit the applications and attend the interviews, but we help you with that. Okay. So alongside the support that we have in terms of getting that work experience after you study, there are a range of societies that you can join whilst you're studying at Kingston. Many sports. So if you're interested in sports, we are likely to have a sports club that you can be part of. And we have extracurricular. Many students I've encountered are studying maybe business or engineering, but they have a passion for drama or music. And you will be able to meet your interests outside of your degree through our many student societies. You are able to work during your studies part-time. You're permitted to work 20 hours a week. So we offer an international student ambassador scheme whereby you'll be able to support the university and be paid to do that. So there are opportunities to work within campus, as well as many job opportunities outside of the campus as well. Now, the majority of our students are postgraduates, but we do offer a range of support for our undergraduates. And we have many partnerships in Canada, America, Japan, Australia, you name it. We do have many partnerships. And there is a study abroad option. Even though you are coming to the UK to study abroad, there's a further option to have a third country where you'd be able to study. And again, with many of our undergraduate programs, we offer a sandwich year where you'll be able to have a year of work experience as well alongside your degree. So I've touched upon it before in terms of speaking about our academic staff, but a fourth reason why you would want to consider coming to Kingston or accepting your offer at Kingston University is our innovative teaching and reputation. Again, it's really focused on preparing you with the skills that you need in order to succeed in your chosen career. So there is academic excellence. You are coming here to study an academic qualification. So that is taken for granted, that you will have excellent academic support and skills. And when I've had sometimes students who do manage to visit the UK prior to studying, I'm able to offer them a campus tour. And many of the representatives that work for Kingston, SI UK, when they've visited our campus, they've been impressed when they've visited our libraries, because we always have academic support in our library. So academic skills like references, academic referencing. We are aware that how you studied in your country may be different in terms of academic references, citations, etc. So outside of your lectures and your tutorials, we're also able to support you in the academic framework as well. As mentioned before about our business school, we're actually among the top 5% of the world's business schools, as we're fully accredited by the AACSB, as well as AMBA, which is the Association of MBA. So we've got a very, very strong, reputable business school. A few things as well. Number one in design, pharmacy, sports, journalism. Yes, we're number one in pharmacy. So again, depending on what you want to choose, we do lead in academic excellence there. Okay, so as mentioned before, our location is, people say, well, where is it? And as mentioned, it's not central London, but the town centre itself, there are many shops, cafes, pubs, cinemas, which is great for your social life, but it's also great for part-time work opportunities. Now, I will touch upon this. Obviously, we are in the middle of a global epidemic here. But what I wanted to share with you is that there's some good news that's only recently come out from the UK today, and that's that the UK's COVID-19 alert has been reduced. Okay, and so many of you may have been aware that many of our shops have now reopened, and people are now able to start. It's still not back to normal. Okay, so there is going to be social distancing in effect for quite a while. But the good news is that shops and businesses are reopening. So in terms of your lifestyle around Kingston, you'll be able to have that. And there's lots of part-time job opportunities. I know many students who are able to work part-time during the many shops in Kingston. So you don't have to travel to central London for a job opportunity whilst you're studying, although, as mentioned, it's really easy to access central London. As touched upon, depending on what you're studying will depend on the campus that you'll be either staying on in your halls of residence or where your lessons will be. So we have 4 campuses, and you're able to take a virtual tour if you visit our website there. So here are the programs that, if depending, business law, education, music, health and social work is on the Kingston Hill campus. Here are the programs with Roehampton Vale, programs for Penryn Road, and for Knights Park. Knights Park campus is our Kingston School of Art. This is exclusively for our art and design students. and our campuses have accommodation on the campus there. So as international students, you will be guaranteed on-campus accommodation. What's also available is, what you can do as well is that around our 4 campuses, we have a free university bus service. Okay, so if you're on Kingston Hill, for example, that's the campus that I'm currently working from home at the moment. But when I will return back to work, I'll be on the Kingston Hill campus. And there's a free university bus service, so free to students. And it takes around 10, so there's a bus every 10 minutes. And it takes about 10 or 15 minutes to get to Kingston Town Centre and then go to Penryn Road campus. So in terms of looking at accommodation, you don't necessarily have to stay on the same campus as which you're studying, because you can easily hop on a bus that's free, and you'll be able to access your classes that way as well. Now moving on to degree programs and entry requirements. So just touching upon, and please, I'm giving you an overview of our programs here. And I'm also, we have a list and I'm able to share with you. I know many of you are unable to take the IELTS test. And so we have alternative English proficiency tests. But we have here some preparatory programs that you can take in order to go on to your main program. And that also includes pre-sessionals, which is if you don't quite meet our English language requirements. If you have any questions there, please do share and we can support you with that. So we have a wide range of undergraduate programs, and your SIUK will be able to help you in terms of your application. It is through UCAS. There are a few programs that you can apply directly to the university, but many of our programs, it is through the UCAS process. So if you are an undergraduate, please do have a look at the suite of programs that we have to offer. And as mentioned, we are a large university in terms of our offering. We do have a range of programs we have. It's quite, I'm always impressed that there are certain institutions that specialize in art and design, for example. I'm thinking of Central St Martin's, and there are a range of other, University of the Arts, London. Our Kingston School of Art fares better than those individual schools. So it's not always the case to think that you need to go to an institution that only specializes in the subject that you're interested in. So as hopefully you're getting an overview of Kingston, where we have separate campuses. On each campus, we really do have our areas of specialism. So Kingston is great because certainly if you're coming with friends or you've had family there, even if you're not studying the same subject, you can attend the same, study at the same institution together. With our postgraduate programs, you can, of course, apply directly to the university. And of course, SIUK is here to support you in that application. So here is just a quick overview of our undergraduate entry requirements specifically for India. Now, what I would say is that your counsellor from SIUK will be able to help you in terms of looking at your transcripts. Many of you may have not received your marks yet, your final grades. That's not a problem. You can still make an application and you can receive a conditional offer, which means that you can submit your results at a later stage. So I would still encourage you to make your application, even if you haven't completed your English proficiency test, the IELTS, and we'll talk about later the alternative English language requirements that are available, i.e. Duolingo, for example. But I would definitely, if you are interested in an art and design program, you will need a portfolio. In fact, the portfolio is the linchpin of being accepted onto our program. And so really, I think that's important, that that's what you focus there, is on your portfolio. So I would not delay getting in touch with SIUK, with a counsellor there, if you're not sure, because there's quite a lot to do in terms of getting ready for your application. And many of you who are listening, who are offer holders, will know this. And again, there are then many steps that need to be taken in terms of preparing to then the next stage of coming to Kingston. In terms of we do have an IELTS exemption, depending on your... Okay, so for our postgraduate programs, generally speaking, we're looking at 60%. Okay, so again, but this is not always the case, but generally it is around 60%. But with the specifics, once you've submitted your application, we can help you there. And as you can see as well with our language requirement, it's very similar to that as well. The MBA, and again, some of you may have specific questions about the MBA. As mentioned, we are accredited by elite qualifications. So you will need to have that 3 years work experience, but we will be happy to talk specifically about the MBA later there. So here are our IELTS qualifications. And what I would suggest is, please do visit the program details on our website. Our website is really easy to navigate. It really is intuitive. There's a search box, so you can always type in what you're interested in, because it does vary. For example, nursing, the English language requirement is higher. For speaking, we are looking at 7, because obviously with that you are conversing with patients, with vulnerable people there. So there is a higher standard there. So the specifics of your IELTS will be on the program details page. Now, where we are now in the cycle, many of you would have been able to apply, have made an application already. Now, I want to stress something really, really quickly now. If you're an undergraduate, you do not need to pay a deposit. I want to encourage you at this stage, and I'm going to move on to this, dealing specifically with COVID-19. Please do not at this stage pay a £3,000 deposit. Please do not, if you have not yet, please do not pay your £3,000 deposit, and we will update you about that. What's happening now is we are at this stage. You can request your CAS number, but we are not issuing CASs at this stage. Many of you know that the visa centres are not open yet. Okay, so we're not issuing CASs. So therefore, you do not need to pay your £3,000 deposit. Okay, so if you have any doubts whatsoever, please contact me, my colleague Usha, or your counsellor, and we can verify this. But please do not yet pay your £3,000 deposit. If you have, that's not a problem. That we can resolve that. But just at this stage, we are requesting you can submit documents. For example, in India, we do require a TB certificate. So that's something that you can prepare. This is only if you have an unconditional offer with Kingston University and you have firmly accepted. So you would only be at this stage if you have an unconditional offer. If you have a conditional offer, you need to work towards submitting your documents in order for your offer to change to unconditional. If you are then an unconditional offer holder, the next step is the CAS. And as stated, at this stage, we are not issuing CASs, okay? But we are starting to prepare for it. So there are documents that you need. And if you are applying for a program where an ATAS certificate is needed, you can start applying for that now, and I would encourage you to do so. So again, this now is in terms of, because of the current situation, normally speaking, without COVID-19, the visa centres would be open. But as that's not the case, we do need to put that on hold at the moment. Now, the scholarships is now closed, okay, for the international scholarship. So if you have made an application, you will hear back hopefully by the end of this month. So do not worry though if you've missed that scholarship, because on our website we also do signpost you to external sources of funding. Okay, so there are other ways that you could look at getting support, and we do offer an alumni discount if you have studied with us before, or if you have a family member who have studied at Kingston before, we're able to give you a discount there. As mentioned and touched upon, once you come to Kingston, there are a variety of opportunities, that being the Student Ambassador Programme, which is open. So in terms of many students who are asking about scholarships, so just to reiterate that it is now closed, many students they're concerned about their return on investment. Okay, you're spending a substantial amount of money on your tuition fees. What I would say though is Kingston University are, in comparison to other universities, our tuition fees are very, very reasonable. However, there are plenty of job opportunities that will be open to you if you when you come on campus. The Student Ambassador Scheme is one of them. So accommodation, okay, I'm just conscious of time, and I'm conscious that I want to deal with questions that you have. I've already touched upon accommodation that's available, okay, and what you might want to do initially is look at the campus that you'll be studying on. Then you can then determine what accommodation you want to apply for. Already touched upon, there's lots of opportunities that you can do that's extracurricular outside of your program. And there's lots of support available to you as well that does not come at extra cost. Okay, and here is a range of them as well. We do have a dedicated immigration visa advisor. So if you are looking at changing your visa, the graduate immigration route, the startup visa, etc., we do have free immigration advice for you when you're a student here. So we are still we're open for business. We're looking to start in September, and we do have an international orientation as well. All of those are free airport pickup service, and all of that is on the website as well. We do have upcoming webinars. In fact, we have a webinar. So if you take that link later on today, now I appreciate in India you're 4.5 hours ahead, but we do have a webinar in 4 hours time. Okay, so if you can stay up, if you're willing to take part in that, you go to that link, and it deals with specifically visa questions. Okay, so we're on hand to give you visa questions, but that link is still very useful because all other upcoming web chats that we're having is on that website. And of course, you can stay in contact with us on our website there. And there's a range of social media channels that you can contact there. So I've got my personal email address there and my colleague's Usha's email address. So there are lots of ways to stay connected with Kingston, to keep up to date. And many of you are going to ask questions about what will happen, and I'm going to use this Q&A session to deal with that. But once you are an offer holder with us, you will then be put onto our email nurture track. And what that means is any updates, any news announcements, you will be the first to know. So there's lots of ways to stay in contact and keep on the pulse in terms of developments there. So any concerns whatsoever, we've got details there. It's been an absolute privilege to have this opportunity to present to you. And I would like to now take this opportunity to hear some of your questions, and my colleague as well, Usha, is here to help you with any questions you may have.
Thank you, Andrew, for a great presentation. It was really amazing. I would only, when we start the Q&A, I would just suggest if you can keep the slide with your email address. We have really a lot of questions, and if we can't go into too much details, I would encourage all students to email you directly. So I will start with the first question from Rajni Saini. What is the current plan for September intake?
Brilliant. And that's exactly what I thought, that there were going to be questions. What's the current plan? So we are moving ahead now. I'm just going to quickly share with you the last page as well as suggested. That's a great idea, so that you can now have our details there. So the current plan is we are moving forward with the September intake. This is going to be the same situation for all institutions in the UK. There are going to be social distancing measures in place. That means that the campus, the classrooms, will not be able to take the full capacity that they usually have. Okay, so whereas one seminar room would have 200 students, we wouldn't be able to have 200 students in that space to comply with social distancing. And so that's why we would have blended learning. And so what that means is we're not just offering you an online degree, we are offering you an on-campus experience. But what that will mean is that some of your lectures that can be delivered online will be online. So you'll be in your halls of residence and you will have access to lots of support virtually, similar to this. So similar to the presentation, not sure, sorry, why that, there we go. Similar to this, where you will have presentations to you. But as mentioned, there's lots of services available to you, so you'll have access to that. Now, why you need to stay in contact with us is because the situation is likely to change in terms of whether visa centres do open in India in July. Now, I'm hopeful that the visa centres are going to open in July. And so in that case, now my heart is with you in India with what you're going through. The situation is bad. You know, we here in the UK are going through it, and things are getting better. But I do know that it's not a great situation in India at the moment. So it is a case of waiting and watching. If you are able to get your visa in July, visa centres open, you will be able to apply for your CAS, and you will then be able to, in September, come to the UK and study with us. Now, as it stands, the UK is suggesting that there is a quarantine period of 2 weeks, and in halls of residence, we are preparing for that. If that is still a government requirement, we are preparing students for that eventuality. But of course, that may not be the situation in September. It's likely as well, at the moment, we're having 2 meters distance. The Prime Minister at the moment is suggesting that it could be 1 meter. So this is a fast-pacing, changing situation. So at first instance, if you are a September intake student, I want to encourage you to start thinking that's plan A. Plan A is that you'll be able to arrive to the UK and you will be able to commence your studies, and that will be blended learning. That will be online, but there will also be campus facilities. The case may be if you are unable to access getting your visa and you're unable to fly to the UK, what we're preparing for is that you'll be able to commence your studies from India. You'll be able to enroll in your Kingston degree and enroll with us and commence your studies online from India. And you'll be able to wait until you are able to then come to the UK to commence your studies there. So that is plan B. But as I said, we don't have the complete details yet. And the reason is because the government announcements we're waiting on. But today, we did have the government announce that they have downgraded the COVID-19 situation there. So that is one positive news today. I hope that does go to some way to explain the September intake situation.
Thank you, Andrew. Moving on to the next question. Are there any scholarships options available for September intake?
So unfortunately, as shared in the presentation, that the deadline has passed. So there aren't any specifically for the international, but on our website, we do give external references to external sources of funding. Your counsellor from SI UK may be able to help you with that. And so I would encourage you to look at other sources outside of Kingston.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Sanjay Padmanabhan. Is there any ELP exemption for admission in PG courses?
English, is this, sorry, in reference to English language?
ELP, I would say so.
Usha, are you familiar with this?
Not really, so I'll just check it out. Not really,
if the questioner, if the person asking the question, if they wouldn't mind, only because in higher education there are many acronyms, so it would, if you wouldn't mind coming back to us with that. As mentioned in the presentation, and this is being recorded by SI UK, so if it is in relation to English language, yes, there are alternatives to the IELTS, and yes, there is an exemption for English language for Indian students specifically with the English 12th standard, and there was a slide about that.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question we have from Anita Sachdeva. What is an installment system at Kingston University? Very
good question. So we have on our website a document called Money Matters, okay? And we do have, I believe, a generous installment system. You will pay upon enrollment 50%, 50, of your tuition fees. So if your tuition fees, for example, are £14,000, you will pay on enrollment £7,000. Now, I want to make something clear. If you are not able to secure your visa, you would not need to pay a £3,000 deposit. If you are able to enroll with us online from India to commence your studies in September, you will not pay your deposit, but you will pay the 50% of your tuition fees virtually from September, okay? If you are able to, you pay your deposit first, which is £3,000. Upon enrollment, to pay 50%, you've already paid £3,000. So with the example of £14,000 being your tuition fees, you would pay a further £4,000 to make up the 50%. And then after that, you can pay in 6 installments. So that remaining 50%, you can pay in 6 installments. So it is a generous installment system. There is that upfront 50% tuition fee payment to begin with, but then there is an installment system after that.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Charu Sethi. Do you have international relations and politics undergraduate course?
We do indeed. We have a very strong academics within this field. We do have those programs. So I would really encourage you, if you haven't made an application and you're interested in this September, to speak with SI UK and to have a look at our website. If you are interested in September 2021, that's great. Do your research now, but there isn't a huge rush. Do remember that for undergraduates, we only have a September intake. For our master's programs, we have a January intake. And for many of our engineering programs, we also have a March intake as well. So for our undergraduates, please do take advantage of looking at our website for your programs. But we have a very strong politics and international relations there. Many of our undergraduate students, they have a field trip, they go to the United Nations in New York. So I definitely encourage you to have a look at our website.
Thank you, Andrew. We have another question, well, actually 2 questions from Ritin Kurana. Is there any online prospectus available? I have the one for 2020 intake, but I'm looking for 2021 one.
So this is prospectuses?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of, we do have digital, so what that means is that one document that lists all the programs that we have. Essentially, now that we're living in an online digital world, we used to obviously have prospectuses printed out in the hard copy, and we have that as an online version. But what I would recommend is, as mentioned on my presentation, our website, kingston.ac.uk, it's there in the slide. Please do visit our website, and there's a search box there. So if there's any programs you're interested, like politics or international relations, please do search our website, and they will come up with the results. So you should be able to navigate our website and that's probably the best for the latest accurate updates of the programs we offer. I would always encourage you to go directly to our website and to search for the programs you're interested in.
Andrew, the next question is from Deepak Paul. Is there MBA intake in January 2021?
Yes, we do. We do have a January intake for the MBA. Our MBA program, as mentioned in the presentation, you do need to have 3 years relevant work experience. That's on our website. So do have a look at the entry requirements of our MBA program on our website. And we do have a fantastic many other business management programs that are accredited by AMBER, the Association of MBAs as well. So to answer your question, we do have a January intake for the MBA.
Thank you, Andrew. Another MBA question from Subhash Shirkan. Do you have MBA in pharmaceutics?
So in the UK, we don't have the title of the degree. We don't have specific. So we don't have MBA in pharmaceutical science, MBA fashion, MBA mechatronics. We have the MBA. Now within the program, you can then specialize, and your research and your projects within that structure, you'll be able to specialize. So absolutely, and do have a look within the modules you'll be studying. So again, go to our website and have a look. But essentially, you can, under the projects of your MBA, tailor your research and expertise to your chosen field. So although we don't have that title, with our MBA allows you to specialize.
Thank you, Andrew. another question about MBA from Anita. Please update the details process for the path for MBA with placement.
Sure. So the MBA is a one-year program, like as a master's degree, effectively. Just to in the UK, we have two main master's degree: an MSc, a Master's in Science, and an MA, a Master's in Arts. Okay, so they're the two main master's degree. So an MBA, a Master's in Business Administration, is a master's degree. So it's a one-year study. So similar to a range of across our master's program, we're offering you a 2-year visa. So it's similar to what I mentioned in my presentation before, where when you apply for the MBA, you can apply for the 2-year visa. Year one, you're studying your program. Whilst you're studying your program in year one, you're also planning and looking and preparing for your placement year in year two, and we will help you secure your placement. If you then secure your placement, you will carry on because you have a 2-year visa. If you are unable to secure a placement, and there are about 30% of students that don't, your 2-year visa will then become a 1-year visa. What I do want to stress, though, is that if you do not secure your work placement under your student visa and you're there for 1 year, you are able, whilst you're in the UK, to apply for the graduate immigration route. Okay? So this is the new visa that the government has announced. So you will be able to work in the UK for 2 years under a separate graduate immigration route. What we're offering you is a springboard to that. So if you do secure a work placement, you get to work for 1 year under your student visa, and then you can apply for the graduate immigration route. Okay, so you can work for 3 years. So to explain, you do need to, in your first year studying your master's, also prepare for that work placement.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Deepak. Does Kingston University has MBA in Finance with internship program and international? Yeah.
So again, just to clarify, the MBA structure enables you to specialize. And again, I think the answer I gave in the previous question, yes, the internship is, so you have an MBA 2-year program, and the first year is that option where you have that paid work placement, but as I do stress, it's not guaranteed.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Mashumi about scholarships, which you already gave a lot of information about. So if you agree, shall we move on to the next one?
Yes.
So the next question is from Simran Kaur. How late can, well, I suppose, when is the latest deadline when international students can apply?
So really, in this situation here, as explained, and this is very new. This policy is being crafted this week. So if you need a visa, if you are able to apply for your visa and the visa centres open, you need to apply in a timely manner. You need to have an unconditional offer first. So that can take a while to get you the application process. It can take 3 weeks, up to 3 weeks, to get the outcome of your application. And so it does take a while for the steps to take place. So what I would like to do with you, you have my email address, you have my colleague's email address. You can also speak to a counsellor. Please do speak with us and let us know what the program is that you want to study with. because I'm very anxious. I don't want you to get disappointed and miss the September intake. However, your program, there might be a January and a March intake, so you could always look at a later intake.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Johnny Shakal. Do you have master in computer science?
Yes, we do. We do have a range of programs within our computer science department. And so what I would really encourage you to do, and a really new exciting program that was developed recently in an MSc in data science. But we do offer computer science, and I would encourage you to look at our website and have a look at the range of programs available. And if you have any questions, do ask once you've had a look at our website.
Andrew, the next question is from Ritin Kurana, and this is about 2021. If we apply for fall 2021, and let's say I apply around January 2021, what about the classes? Are classes going to be via Zoom?
Okay, so we have our own platform that we're developing. And of course, there are students now who are currently studying who are having an online delivery. So it really is and this will be the same for all universities in the UK. We just cannot, with accuracy, tell you what the situation will be like in January. The news is looking better, but there are many concerns of a second wave. So I want to be quite upfront with you that although there are positivity that's coming out in the UK, by no means are we out of this. There is social distancing in place, and we are waiting and watching. So unfortunately, this is why it's important, I suppose, is to make an application, to stay in touch with Kingston and get the regular updates from Kingston. Your safety comes first. Ultimately, we wouldn't be doing this if your safety was at risk. So we have to make sure that comes first. But equally, we want to help you fulfill your ambition to study in the UK for your career. So that's our approach.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Gaurav Gupta. For CBSE students in class 12, are there any exemptions in IELTS?
Yes, so we touched upon that in the presentation, and it does depend on the board that you took the English 12th standard. So please do, you've got our email address if you've got a specific question. What I would, if you're looking at September 2020 and you haven't made an application yet, please do submit your application. You don't have to have received your results yet, and I do appreciate some of you might have delay. You don't need to have your results yet to make an application. But yes, we do have an IELTS exemption for the English 12th standard.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Anita Sachdevan. Are there any COVID-19 measures that the university is looking to implement for students on campus?
Absolutely, and that's what, as mentioning, we are staying very closely with what the government recommendations are. At the moment, they are saying 2 meter distance. So we are implementing that on campus. Campus is open. So I'm not working on campus, for example, because I am able to do my work from home. So those who do not need to be in campus are not working, but campus is open. Our IT staff, the library is open. There are facilities for students who are on campus at the moment. But of course, we do have to adhere to social distancing measures that are currently what the government requires. So from a legal, but also from a moral point of view, of course, we are taking this very, very seriously. Your safety comes first. And so that's why there will be blended learning, because we won't be able to facilitate the same amount of students and members of staff as we normally would on campus to adhere to social distancing. We will be having blended learning. Learning will be taking place from home, and so we're taking this very, very seriously.
The next question is from Gautam Prakash. Will this same scenario of social distancing apply to September 2021?
Well, I think already the social distancing measures are under review anyway. And I think that at the moment there's talk that it could be reduced to 1 meter from 2. Already public transport is open. It's very, very difficult to adhere to social distancing when you're in supermarkets in society. It's very difficult from a practical point of view. So the government says where social distancing isn't possible, people wear a face mask and are just encouraged to the normal hygiene practices, washing your hands before doing that. So of course there are measures where it's not always practical to have those social distancing measures. The government said is likely for public transport. There are other measures that you can put in place. I'm praying that we will recover from this, and so from September 2021, I would love it if, to answer your question positively, but I can't honestly say that. But we are on the pulse. So we'll adhere to what we are required to adhere to.
Thank you, Andrew. So I'm just a bit cautious about the time because we have a couple of more minutes and we still have a lot of questions to go through. It's a very interactive session. So I would just suggest if you can give like maybe brief answers, and then so we can answer as many questions as possible and give more detailed answers via email. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. So question from Mashumi Patak. Do you have masters in education?
We do have masters in education. So please do have a look at our website about that.
Riddhi Ravi Shanak. For the PH program on user experience, is there a January intake? Is this course based more on design side or computer science based?
It's blend. It's both. I would encourage you to. It's a brilliant program. Have a look at our website. Is what I like to say. Just I'm cautious of time, but there is really brilliant information about it on our website.
Thank you. The next question is from Natasha Gibani. I have done my master's in management studies in finance and would like to do a postgraduate course in education or business. Can I enroll for another master's or postgraduate program?
Yes. So it's not even if you're studying the same level of qualification, it's still possible to do that. It does need to be, you will probably need to evidence how it's going to enhance your career while you're doing it, but certainly it's possible. Make an application, and that's probably the best way that we can help you to make sure that it is. But to answer your question, it is possible.
Thank you, Andres. And another question from Natasha. Is change in career option acceptable and will not have any issues on the visa application?
So again, this is quite popular. Many people want to change their career, and a master's degree is a great vehicle to do that. So we can give you advice about that once you've submitted your application. So it's done on a case-by-case basis. So what I would do is make your application, and we'll be able to help you from there.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Ranju. Do you have PhD program related to microbiology? Yes,
we do have PhD proposal opportunities. What you need to do is have a look at a supervisor. Please send me an email. I can send you a fact sheet about that. But essentially, you need to be matched with the supervisor. So there's a process to take. And if you want to follow this up, please send us an email, and I can give you the information about that.
Thank you, Andrew. Questions from Jagadish. From Masters January intake 2021, will we be able to get a scholarship if we apply for the administration before September?
So for September 2021, we will have scholarships will reopen next year in February and close in May. So there will be scholarship opportunity for September 2021. They're closed now for this September.
Thank you. The next question from Deepak is the work experience of 3 years exactly to be in the MBA program. I don't really understand the question. I think like the Deepak is asking if you require 3 years experience.
Yes. So what I would encourage you to do is make an application. Okay. If you don't quite meet that criterion, we offer instead the MSc in International Business Management, which is an accredited program by AMBER, and is equivalent to the MBA, a fresher MBA. So what I would do is definitely submit an MBA program application. If you're not successful, you won't have to make a fresh application for the International Business Management program.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Shamida. Can you tell us about MSc Pharmaceutical Science with Management program and scholarships for international students if available?
Yeah, so the scholarships are now closed for September 2020. And as mentioned, I mean, we're #1 for pharmacy in London. We've got a fantastic facilities, brilliant excellence, academic excellence. But as I explained about Kingston, we have that thread through. We want to encourage you to think about your career as a pharmacist or a pharmaceutical professional. You might have your own business, your own pharmacy that you have. And so that demonstrates Kingston's approach to how we are with our students. And it's a fantastic program. So definitely encourage you to make an application for it.
Thank you, Andrew. The next question is from Saizan Changal. If a student is studying a course which requires lab practicals, how are those going to take place under these conditions?
Sure. So in our laboratories, what we're doing is we're ensuring that's why where you can stay at home, lectures will be online, but we are already putting in place, we have lab technicians are currently working in the labs and making them safe. So there are ways of having social distancing measures and PPE that will be available in order for you to have practical assessments with the equipment that we have. So that's not, that won't be an issue.
Thank you, Andrew. Moving on to the next question from Subhash. I have done this might be masters in pharmaceutics. Can you please suggest me the further relevant degree in your uni? I think this is probably the best to be addressed directly to your email address, because it doesn't say exactly. The next question from Sanket. Do you have any STEM programs?
Yes. So STEM programs, I would say, so that comes under our Faculty of Science, Engineering and Computing programs. We really excel. We're at the forefront of that. So yes, as mentioned, we offer a range of programs, but our STEM programs come under our Faculty of Science, Engineering and Computing.
Thank you, Andrew. I think one of the last few questions, is it compulsory for MBA program to be age above 26?
Of course, yes, above. I mean, it's really the MBA, while we have that work experience, it's not uncommon for our MBA students to be in their 40s, 50s, because you're running your own business or you're in a leadership position, and what you're wanting to do is supplement, you want to improve on that. So in fact, it would be, it's more practical that you would be more mature because you have that relevant experience.
I just want to add to what Andrew has been talking about. I think there are many queries on MBA. So Kingston University Business School is AACSP accredited, which only 5% of the business schools in the world have this accreditation, and Kingston is one of them. Also, the program is accredited by AMBA. Now, these accreditations itself are a hallmark of excellence, and the university is audited by these accrediting bodies. Okay, so that's the reason you need to have minimum 3 years of work experience, for the MBA program, and the age of around 26, because for the MBA program, we only accept 20 students in a classroom. We have one career counselor, assigned to each student, and you will be working on high-end critical case studies with multinational firms. And so the program is very, very niche product, I would say. It's a unique program, and that's the reason you need to have that kind of experience, because if you don't have the experience, if you're just, out from your bachelor degree, you will find yourself at lost, when you're doing the MBA program, because students with 5 years, 10 years, 15 years of work experience join this program, and you're going to learn from each other's experiences and resolve those case studies. And because the program is accredited, these accrediting bodies perform audits on the university to check up on the quality standards, the learning teaching resources which are available at the university, and the employment ratio of the students after completion of the program. So that's the reason, when you can see that the program is accredited, it's of very high standards and quality.
Thank you. I think thank you, Usha, for answering all the questions on Zoom. So that's really great. Yeah. I only see that we skipped one question, and I think this is the last question that we have to cover. It's from Aparna. What are the current COVID numbers in the UK? Was this stabilized? Will by January 2021 studying on campus be possible?
Well, I mean, I would encourage, it's all a matter of public record. So as this is going out, you can have a look online, and there are different websites as well that have a look at it. Our experts are saying that we have reached the peak. Already have mentioned the risk has been downgraded by the government. However, we just don't know. It's not linear in sense it may increase again in terms of the situation as we've currently eased lockdown where we've opened shops, etc. So unfortunately, all of us who are, my heart goes out to everyone in lockdown. Our lives have been changed currently because of it, and so it is just a question of waiting and watching with the developments. But we are taking this very seriously. We are moving forward with a September intake. We are putting the measures in place. We have the ability to do that, and we're determined. That we don't want you to lose out, have a year that's been written off. So as best as we can with the guidance that we are given by the government is to make it the best experience possible under these circumstances for you.
Thank you very much, Andrew and Usha. This was a lovely presentation. Thank you very much for hosting presentation together with SA UK today. I would also like to thank all our students who joined. This session will be recorded and available on YouTube. So if you want to review presentation, you can see it again on our YouTube channel. And please, for any additional questions, email Andrew or Usha directly or your SA UK counsellor. I'm aware that we had to skip through some of the questions quickly. So please email Andrew, Usha or SA UK for more information. And then, Usha, would you like to wrap up and close the session?
Yeah, I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the presentation, and some fascinating and really good questions. And please do. I'm so grateful to be working with SI UK, but also my in-country, my colleague Usha, who is based in country in Mumbai. And so we are really here to help you navigate your journey to become a student at Kingston University. So I'd like to thank you and just pass on to Usha, who might have some last words.
Yes, I really thank SIUK for giving us this opportunity and hosting this webinar for us. And thank you all for attending this webinar. And feel free to email us, get in touch with SIUK. They are our professional, representatives. They are our official representatives, and they will help you with the entire process because they are very well versed with Kingston University policies, entry requirements, and they'll be helping you and guiding you. You're also free to, write to my colleague Andrew or myself, and we are very happy to help you as well. So wish you good luck, and we look forward to welcoming all of you to Kingston University, for your career programs in future or in September 2021. Good luck and all the best to you.